dear students. Today I continue with the chapter Indigo, which is the chapter 5 of your Flamingo book, class 12. So this chapter Indigo is an extract from the book The Life of Mahatma Gandhi, written by Louis Fischer. So in the first part of this chapter, I have done the part where we have come to know that how Rajkumar Shukla had approached Gandhiji and had asked him to go to Champaran, where the indigo sharecroppers were facing a lot of problem under the British landlords. So Gandhiji, we of course know, he is the father of the nation. So the backdrop of the story also is the Champaran movement, and this book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi, has been featured in an award-winning film, Gandhi 1982. Now we continue from page number 48. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot and by conveyance to see their champion. So when Gandhiji reached Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran, there all the sharecroppers from Champaran, they started coming to meet Gandhiji on foot or by any other transportation to see their champion, means to see the leader Gandhiji. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. So the Muzaffarpur lawyers told Gandhiji that they frequently represented peasant groups in court. That is, they often represented the farmer groups in the court, and for that they took some fees. Gandhi chided the lawyers for collecting big fee from the sharecroppers. Now Gandhi chided means he scolded the lawyers that why should they take big fee from the poor sharecroppers. He said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to the law courts. So what did Gandhiji tell to the lawyers? That they, to the people there actually, that they should all stop going to the law courts. Taking such cases to the law courts does little good. Where the peasants are so crushed and fear-stricken, law courts are useless. So Gandhiji said that where the peasants are so crushed, that is, they are suffering, they are so much under the burden of all these sharecropping, that they were fear-stricken, that is, they were afraid of the British planters, and in such cases the law courts were very useless. The real relief for them is to be free from fear. So Gandhiji told that the real respite, the real relief for these sharecroppers would be when they would be made free from fear. Now, this movement, the Champaran movement, is the first civil disobedience movement in India. And with this movement, what did Gandhiji teach the people of Champaran, as well as in a larger span the Indians, that every Indian should be self-reliant. So this isn't it very much clear by Gandhiji's words that he wanted the Indians to be free from fear. It is their country and they should be free from fear. And this is how he instilled the confidence in the Indians. And this is a very great example of the civil disobedience movement in the freedom struggle of India. Most of the arable means land suitable for farming, land in the Champaran district was divided into large estates owned by Englishmen. So the land, Champaran, all these places in Bihar are very fertile. So the crops were also very good. So all the arable land in Champaran district was divided into large plots, large estates, which were owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. And the land was taken by Indian farmers on rent. This is called tenants. So who were the tenants? The tenants were actually the Indian farmers who took these lands on rent. So the Indian tenants were the farmers who took land on rents. The chief commercial crop was indigo. Now it was a very profitable business. The chief commercial crop means which is sold on profit for business, was indigo. The landlords compelled all tenants to plant 3/20 or 15% of their holdings with indigo. Now you see, the landlords means the Britishers. Compelled means forced. Forced all tenants. Who are these tenants? The Indian farmers who took the land on rent to plant 3/20 or 15% of the land. They had to cultivate indigo and surrender. And after that, they had to surrender the entire, surrender means to give the entire indigo harvest, that is the fasal you say, no, Hindi, indigo harvest as rent to the Britishers. Now here you see the rent as Britishers. Now in those days, what the Britishers used to do, they used to take all the raw material from India to their country, and there they used to process the goods and sell it into the world market. So this was what? This was an exploitation on the on the Indian farmers. That is what the entire land holding, that is whatever land they possessed, in that total land possession, 15% of the land had to be grown with indigo crop, and the entire harvest had to be given as rent to the British. And that was a very profitable. Indigo means what? In Hindi you say that that blue color, Neil, which is very much was sold in the world market at that time. And this was done by a long-term contract. That is, the English exploited the poor Indian farmers in this way. Presently, the landlords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. Now, presently, what? The landlords came to know that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. That is, synthetic means the indigo which is prepared with chemical base, artificial indigo. So now they understood that in the world market, those synthetic indigo would be sold in a faster rate. Now you see how they changed their policy. They thereupon, that is, who is this they? They means the Britishers, the British landlords. They thereupon means after that obtained agreements. Now they made a fresh agreement from the sharecroppers. So they obtained agreement, that is, they made fresh agreement with the sharecroppers to pay them compensation. Now you see, since they did not had to grow indigo, so what did the Britishers do? They asked those sharecroppers, poor farmers of Champaran, they were asked to pay compensation for being released. Now they asked to pay, the sharecroppers were asked to pay the compensation for being released, that is to be free from that contract, from the 15% agreement. Now these poor farmers, they did not even get a square meal a day. How can they pay the compensation? They were ruined. They were shattered, ruined by these atrocities of the British landlords. So at this juncture, Gandhiji reached Champaran, and this Champaran Satyagraha movement is, students remember, is the first example of the civil disobedience movement in India. What is a civil disobedience movement? When people do not obey the commands and demands of the government. So at that time, who was the government? The British was the government. I hope you all have understood till here. Please write in the comment box if you don't understand any part, so that I can explain this particular part in my third part of this chapter. This chapter will be continued in a part 3 section also, students, so that you understand the chapter line by line, word by word. So this is my very earnest effort to make you understand the chapter, so that you do excellently in your board exam if questions come from this chapter also. So the sharecropping arrangements was irksome. So this arrangement was totally irksome. When now, students, I hope you are following. When they were growing indigo, in the total land holding, 15% of the land they had to grow indigo, and the harvest which in that indigo was made, that they had to pay as a rent to the British. That was the old agreement contract. Then when Germany developed synthetic indigo, oh my God, they changed the agreement. Now the Britishers, what did they do? They wanted the sharecroppers to pay compensation to get themselves free from the 15% arrangement. They had not to cultivate indigo after this. So what? Then also Britishers wanted compensation from the poor farmers, poor sharecroppers, that they have to give compensation to get themselves free from 15% arrangement. So this entire arrangement was very irksome, means very irritating to the peasants. And Gandhiji arrived in Champaran at this juncture. Those who resisted, now the farmers who resisted, and engaged lawyers. Now poor thing, they did not want to pay the compensation. They looked for lawyers, and now you see these lawyers used to charge them fee. So the entire process, the entire system was fully exploitation to the farmers and to the Indians also. The landlords hired thugs. Now who are these landlords? These landlords are the British. They hired thugs. Who are the thugs? The people who all are kind of criminal people. Meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants who had signed, and they wanted their money back. So poor thing, the sharecroppers, the little illiterate peasants of Champaran, they heard about this synthetic indigo which was in the world market, was produced by Germany, and they wanted their money back, which the Britishers were not ready to give. At this point, Gandhi arrived in Champaran. So I hope students, in the first part only I had discussed, Champaran is in the northern part of Bihar, and it is in the foothills of Nepal. So he arrived there. He began by trying to get the facts. So first he visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association. So what did Gandhiji do? He first visited the secretary of the British Landlord Association. The secretary told him that they could give no information to an outsider. Now here you see, the secretary of the British landlord, he said that they cannot give any information to an outsider, because Gandhiji was not of Champaran, but he was an Indian like the people of Champaran. So Gandhiji answered that he was no outsider. So so here remember students, this Champaran movement only, Mohandas, where Mohandas means, where Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, the full name, he was named as Mahatma. From here only he is named as Mahatma Gandhi. And this Champaran movement was in 1917. So here he is arriving by train from Calcutta to Muzaffarpur first event, which was en route to Champaran. Next, Gandhi called on the British official commissioner. First, he talked to the secretary of the British Landlord Association. Then he called the British official commissioner of Tirhut. So he called upon the British official commissioner of the Tirhut division. Tirhut division is that region of Bihar which under which the Champaran district comes, in which the Champaran district lay. The commissioner said, "The commissioner, Gandhi reports, provided to bully me and advised me forthwith to leave Tirhut." So the secretary said that they would not answer to an outsider. And this commissioner, what did he say? Immediately he proceeded to bully me, means to harass Gandhiji, and advised Gandhi forthwith, means at once, to leave Tirhut. Gandhiji did not leave. Instead, what did Gandhi do? He proceeded to Motihari. Now, Motihari is the capital of Champaran. So, the station is also known as Bapu Dham Motihari. So, several lawyers accompanied him. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted him. That is, several lawyers accompanied him, went with him, and at the railway station of Motihari, a vast multitude, means a vast number, greeted Gandhi. He went to a house and, using it as headquarters, that is a place where he would meet, continued his investigations, means he started investigating, he started finding out. A report came in that a peasant had been maltreated. Maltreated means mistreated or given some kind of punishment in a nearby village. Gandhi decided to go and see the next morning. So what did he do? Next morning he decided he would go to that village and see to the peasant. He was an Indian and he started out on the back of an elephant. He had not proceeded far. Now he was going to that village. He had not gone very far when the next person is when the police superintendent's messenger overtook him, means stopped him. The police superintendent's messenger, means he is a Britisher, overtook him, means he stopped him and ordered him to return. What was the order? To return to town in his carriage. That is, return back to the headquarters of Gandhiji. Gandhiji compiled, means Gandhiji agreed to what the messenger said. The messenger drove Gandhi home, where he served him with an official notice. Now the messenger took Gandhi back home and there Gandhiji was served with an official notice. That is official order to quit. Quit means to leave Champaran immediately. So with the notice was to leave Champaran immediately. Now see what Gandhiji did. Gandhiji signed a receipt for the notice. He signed the receipt and wrote on it. And what did he write? That he would disobey the order, that he would not obey the order. And this is called civil disobedience. Okay. So this was the civil disobedience. So here you see that the order had come and he signed also on the notice, and then he said that he would not be obeying. Why? Because they had no right to drive him away, because it was his country, like the other peasants, and he did not want to obey the he did not want to obey the government's order, and this was the civil disobedience, that is not to obey the orders of the government. In consequence, Gandhi received the summons to appear in the court the next day. So in consequence, what happened? That Gandhiji got the orders from Gandhiji received the order to appear in the court the very next day. All night Gandhi remained awake. So that night he remained awake and he telegraphed Rajendra Prasad, that he messaged Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with all the influential friends, that he was called in the court. He sent instructions to the ashram, that is in Ahmedabad. He sent the instructions. He wired a full report to the viceroy. And what all he did, see, students, you can get some questions here from from this part, that what action did he do, or how did he plan in that night before he was summoned to the court. That is, first thing is, he telegraphed Rajendra Prasad, number one. He remained awake also. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with all influential friends. He sent instructions to the ashram in Gujarat. And then what did he do? He wired a full report to the viceroy. So who is a viceroy? There used to be viceroys in India, British viceroys. That is a ruler exercising authority in a colony. The India was a colony of the British on behalf of a sovereign. Sovereign means the ruler. And colony is, India was a colony of the Britisher. Of Britain. Okay, India was a colony of Britishers. So on behalf of so this can be a question, can come here. Question can come here. 4-mark question can come. How did Gandhi plan on the summons to appear in the court? Appear in court. Okay, on the summons to appear in court. This can come for 4 marks. So you can write the answer from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. 3 points are there. Morning found the town of, so the next day he had to appear in the court. So morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. So morning found the town of Motihari. He was in Motihari, the capital of Champaran. Black with peasants. Black means what? There were so many heads. That is the head, that is the hair is there, no? So the heads full were there, which had black hair, no? So all heads could be seen of the peasants. Peasants are small farm. They did not know Gandhiji's record in South Africa. Now these peasants all came together in thousands to support Gandhiji. But these peasants did not know Gandhiji's record in South Africa. So before 1917, in South Africa, Gandhiji had gone and he had fought against injustice and class difference in South Africa with his method of satyagraha. And here also he will do satyagraha. That is, satyagraha means satya ki ladai, fight for with truth, the way with truth, satyagraha. So he had a lot of popularity there. In South Africa, that he fought for injustice, class difference. So they had merely heard that a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble. They did not know about his popularity in South Africa or the work he had done in South Africa. They had just come there in thousands to support him because he was in trouble with the authorities, that is with the British. Their spontaneous demonstration in thousands, that is their spontaneous, very unforced demonstration in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from fear of the British. That is, around the courthouse, they came with their unforced demonstration. It was the beginning of their liberation, that is, from fear of British. That is their freedom from the fear of British. So this is the Champaran Satyagraha which is mentioned. The officials felt powerless without Gandhiji's cooperation. So the crowd was such a huge crowd that the officials, that is the Britishers, felt powerless. They became nervous without Gandhiji's cooperation. He helped them regulate the crowd. So Gandhiji only helped them to control the crowd. He was polite and friendly. So Gandhiji, what did he do? How was he? He was polite and friendly. That is, he was humble. And he was giving them concrete proof that their might, their hitherto dreaded and unquestioned. So what did he do? He was giving them concrete proof that their might, that is concrete proof, he was giving solid proof, he was giving to the Britishers that their might, that is that their strength, which they showed hitherto, that which they showed earlier, dreaded and unquestioned, and that their strength, which was really was the Indians dreaded, they were afraid, and they also kept unquestioned. Those different strength they showed, different power they showed, that remained unquestioned from the Indians, could be challenged by Indians. So Gandhiji very nicely he gave the concrete proof that it can be challenged, their power, their might can be challenged by the Indians. The government was baffled, that is the the British officials, they became confused. The prosecutor requested the judge to postpone the trial. So they became so nervous, so afraid that he requested the judge to postpone, that is to defer the trial. Apparently, the authorities wished to consult their superiors. Apparently means obviously all these authorities, they wanted to consult their superiors who were sitting in Britain. Gandhi protested against the delay. He read a statement pleading guilty. He was involved, he told the court, in a conflict of duties. On the one hand, not to set a bad example as lawbreaker, on the other hand, to render the humanitarian and national service. So Gandhiji protested against the delay of the decision taken by the Britisher, and he read a statement pleading guilty. He said that he pleaded that he was guilty, but he was involved. He told the court how he was involved in this, that he did not obey the court, he did not obey any statement given by the British, that it was a kind of conflict of duties. What was the conflict means? The different kind of pulls of duties. So on the one hand, what was that? On the one hand, not to set a bad example as a lawbreaker. That is on the one hand. What was the conflict? What was the difference he had to do? That is on the one hand, he did not want to set a bad example as a lawbreaker to the British. On the other hand, he wanted to give humanitarian and national service also. Therefore, he pleaded that he was guilty, but he had some solid reason for the conflict of his duties. That is, on the one hand, he set a bad example as a lawbreaker, he did not follow the law. On the other hand, he was working on the national service for which he had come. He disregarded the order to leave. So he had disregarded the order to leave, not for want of respect for lawful authority. So he was very humble. So he said very humble in a he humbly said that he did not want to break the law authority, but in obedience, but he wanted to obey the higher law of our being, that is God, the superior being, that the voice of conscience, that he should do the right thing for the peasants. And he asked the penalty due, that is, he asked that whatever punishment he was to be given, he will be abiding with it. The magistrates, that is the civil officer who administers law, announced that he would pronounce sentence after a 2-hour recess, and asked Gandhi to furnish bail, that is to prepare for bail for those 120 minutes. 120 minutes means in that 2 hours. But Gandhiji refused that. He did not want to prepare for bail. The judge released him without bail. Now they were so afraid, the British was so afraid with the huge multitude of people coming there, that the judge also released Gandhiji without bail. When the court reconvened means again to start after some break. The judge said he would not deliver the judgment for several days. Now how they are delaying it? So he said that he would not deliver the judgment because he was afraid of the strength of the huge number of people which was following Gandhiji. Meanwhile, he allowed Gandhi to remain at liberty. Now, Gandhiji was set free. Rajendra Prasad, Brij Kishore Babu, Maulana Mazrul Haq and several other prominent lawyers had arrived from Bihar and they conferred with Gandhi. That is, they were continuously on the side of Gandhi, or they were supporting Gandhi. What would they do if he was sentenced to prison? Gandhi asked. So Gandhi asked to all those people who were accompanying that what would they do if he was sentenced to prison as a penalty, sent to prison. So why the senior leader replied, they had come to advise and help him. If he went to jail, there would be nobody to advise and they would go home. Now you see the senior lawyer, what did he say? They said that the lawyers had come to help him, advise him. But if Gandhiji had to go to jail, all the lawyers said that they would go home. They would not do any other help to Gandhiji. So what about the injustice to the sharecroppers? Gandhi demanded. The lawyers withdrew to consult. That is, the lawyers withdrew to consult means they denied. That is, they denied to consult. They did not want to consult. They did not think about the poor sharecroppers' injustice. Rajendra Prasad has recorded the upshot of their consultations. Now, Rajendra Prasad, he recorded the upshot means the result of all the consultations they were making with Gandhiji and the lawyers and all of them. They thought amongst themselves that Gandhi was totally a stranger and yet he was prepared to go to prison for the sake of the peasants. So Rajendra Prasad said that Gandhiji was a total stranger and he was prepared to go to the prison for the sake of the farmers, sharecroppers. If they, on the other hand, being not only residents of that place, not only people who resided, who stayed in that places of the adjoining districts, but also those who claimed to have served these peasants, should go home, it would be a shameful desertion. That is what it would be. It would be a shameful betrayal on the part of those people who would be leaving the issue and going home. That is the lawyers. So Rajendra Prasad said this. They accordingly went back to Gandhi and told him they were ready to follow him into jail. So with this powerful message of Rajendra Prasad, what did the other lawyers do? They all said that it was really true. Gandhiji was not a person who stayed in Champaran. He was of a different place. But he was ready to go to the prison for the poor, for the injustice given to the sharecroppers. So all these people wanted to follow Gandhiji into jail. The battle of Champaran is won. So he understood that the people's support was there, and therefore he said that the battle of Champaran is won, he exclaimed. Then he took a piece of paper and divided the groups into pairs and put down the order in which each pair was to co-terrorist. That is, he took a piece of paper and he divided into pairs, and he also put down the order in which each pair was to go to co-terrorist, means was to surrender themselves. If Gandhiji was going to prison, they would also surrender themselves to in front of the British to go to the prison. So this was the might of the strength, or this was the might of the people of Champaran, and this also we can say this is unity, is strength. When they got united, when Indians got united, they had that strength to fight to drive away the British from the country. So I hope students you understood each word. If you don't understand, please comment in the comment box, ask me questions, and I would be continuing with this chapter part 3 in my next session. So students, hope to see you in the part 3 of this chapter.